Now I don't like the movie anymore.
That's why I don't want to say
thought
it.
I liked the movie. Wow, you're just here to ruin everything.
But they look like giant phalluses with teeth.
Yes! My safe search is blurring some of these. That is a solid
I could talk about that movie for 24 hours.
Welcome back to 4 Geeks by Geeks, the place where geeks come to geek out. As always, I am Boser. And this is your Monday Night Geek Out Sesh. Y'all, 2 weeks in a row of an actual Geek Out Sesh. Look at this. Who is he? He's Boser, live in the flesh. How we doing? Happy Monday, everybody. Thanks for being here. If this is your first time on a Monday Night Geek Out Sesh, we do this each and every Monday night at 8:30 Eastern Standard, live here on Twitch. And then you can always catch it again on YouTube or podcast if you weren't able to hang out live in the chat with us like we are tonight. But happy Halloween. If you haven't already heard it from us, happy Halloween. This is like my favorite time of the year, truly, because I'm not living in it all the time, unlike my guest. And I think she's got some thoughts on it. But we're going to hear from her in just a little bit as we are geeking out over all things scary movies, the horror, the entire genre. If you haven't already, you can check out her channel, Horror Movie and Beyond. You can use the command horror, or you can check out the links in the captions below to learn more about her and hear the great thoughts that she's got. But we're going to get with her in just a minute. If you haven't checked out our new affiliation that we now have with this amazing creator by the name of Minstrel, actually out in Poland, an amazing guy with amazing crafts. If you love your dice and you love your dice boxes and dice bags, rolling trays, if you want to elevate your game at your TTRPG table, check out Minstrel. You can use command Minstrel or the caption links below. It really does help out the channel. It's just one small way that you can treat yourself and also support FGBG, what we're doing. And Christmas is just around the corner, even though first we have to get through Halloween, because it's tomorrow and we're not skipping it. No matter what Target aisles try to tell us, it's not true. We're not there yet. I'm not ready. But what I am ready to do is geek the hell out with our guest tonight. She super cool already and really took a shot in the dark because I didn't have somebody that I wanted lined up for this spot the day before Halloween. I really wanted a spooky guest and I didn't have one lined up. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go outside my normal channels and I'm going to just hit the randoms in the hashtags, and came across her content messenger, and she immediately said, yeah, that sounds like a good time. And so that takes guts. And if she wasn't into guts, she wouldn't be into the horror genre at all. So please, everybody, welcome. Throw some emojis in the chat, comment below. Welcome the guest tonight, Ivotres with Horror Movies and Beyond.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. That's all for you. That's all for you. Those are all the bodies I keep in my basement. It's the only people that come to stream. How you doing, Ivotres?
I'm doing fabulous. I'm doing really well.
No, honestly, thank you again for agreeing to be here tonight. I know you probably get messages by weirdos in your DMs all the time, so thank you for actually responding to this one.
Only you were the weirdo.
Oh, okay.
Nah, but yeah. Thank you for inviting me to join you. This is
Of
cool.
course. I'm so glad that this whole channel, the 4 Geeks by Geeks, the only reason I started was just to make new friends and meet cool people in the scene, and so I'm succeeding. Especially with a setup that looks like yours. I'm geeking out over everything sitting behind you.
Oh, I got a lot of stuff.
That is quite a collection. I'm going to make you really big just to show off some of that stuff.
Yeah.
What do we got going on back there?
Let's see what we got. We got some figures up here. I love the thing. Wait, The Thing. The Thing is my favorite movie in the world, so I definitely have some stuff about that, and why am I? Some
It's
figures.
backwards, right?
Yeah, I'm like
You like mirrors.
the Twilight Zone. These are two figures that were that was a funny story, but then they're my favorite segment, and I end up getting my favorite. So yeah, I had to almost fight somebody for 'em.
Did you find them at like a con that you yanked them out
it
of
was
child
it was
pants?
like a pop-up almost, or something, a warehouse, and
Ooh, okay.
it was right before COVID. And so they were sitting up there, and I was like, what's in the box? And the guy, he handed it to me. I said, no way. So this one is the episode To Serve Man. So it is
Remind
the
me.
tall figure of the guy, the I think it's Clock. I don't know. I can't remember. But it's a tall guy with a big head, and he only could speak to you in his mind. And he has a book on how to serve man, meaning how to prepare man. So I have the tall figure, and then the other one.
Why does he look like Will Smith?
Wait, which one are you looking at?
This tall man.
I don't know.
He looks like Will Smith with like a hat on. Does he not look like Will Smith?
Now that you why? Now I can't get away from it. Oh my god!
Tell me that's not Will Smith.
Will Smith. You know what? If they made a movie, he could do it.
He should. I'm sure he'll get right on that.
That is hilarious.
Sorry, I interrupted you. What's in the
What's
in the other box?
The other one is called Invaders, and it's the little man. But it's actually, it's like an old lady, and she's like fighting off these little invader things, and but we think she's the alien, but really we are the alien.
Oh, those things are creepy.
Yeah, it's actually pretty creepy. And then the other
They
one
look like they're out of Doctor Who.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy. It scared me when I saw that. That one was scary. And then they had Talking Tina. But I could not. I wasn't gonna pay as much money as they were trying to do for her. So
the real Talking Tina doll?
Yeah, the replica from
right.
Yeah. So these are the original. No, they're not the original boxes. I think they're like a duplicate box, like when they redo them from the 90s, I think. So
are you the type that is never going to take them out of the box?
Oh, I took them out of the box, played with them. I even did a little TikTok with one of them, like it was trying to get me. The little
that.
It was like going through the door. It was like really cool.
There's always those people that just don't take their cool toys out of the box, and I get.
Oh well,
like they're probably not worth anything anymore. But
I would never, because I have McReady in the box.
Yeah,
I got a point. McReady in the box, and then this one I have. It was a gift. That's the figure, so it looks just like the cover of the box of The Thing.
Oh, sweet! With like a light shining in his face.
Yeah, and it glows. So I would never take those out of the box. No, you couldn't pay me to take them out. No.
There's a number somewhere. I ain't got it, but
well, no. These I took all out the box.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Good. They look cooler out of the box. Anyway, for anybody that doesn't know who you are, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do as a geek.
Oh man. So let's see, where should I start with? So I interview celebrities, filmmakers, sometimes podcasters on my show, Horror Movies and Beyond. And it's a show that reviews horror movies for the living to understand the dead.
Oh.
Also, I do, like I said, do movie reviews, but my specialty is interviewing horror icons, celebrities, filmmakers, directors, writers, stuff like that.
So now's your chance to name drop. Now's the chance to name drop. Who are the coolest people you got to meet?
Oh man. Okay. Number one have to be Tony Todd. That was a fun, he played Candyman.
No, the original?
I interviewed him twice. So
so cool.
The second one, I have to say Casper Van Dien. I met him 3 times, interviewed him twice. He played Johnny Rico in Starship Troopers. He was also
Oh,
in
okay.
Sleepy Hollow.
Yep.
And I recently he did Mad Heidi, and that movie was so fun, and he was so great. I want to see him more kind of bloody, gory stuff. He's actually really good in it. Barbara Crampton. She did From Beyond, Reanimator, Chopping Mall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And and
I'm literally Googling these people as you're naming them so that I can have some semblance of idea.
David Howard Thornton, he's Art the Clown in Terrifier 2.
Shit.
So that one was
Really?
fun. Yeah. That was later last year. And also I interviewed Dead Meat, James and Chelsea.
Dead Meat?
Yeah, it's called Dead Meat, but they're I say the biggest horror YouTubers. I think they have like 6 million followers, 100,000 here and there. So yeah. And,
so are these like virtual, like how we're doing it now? Or are you like meeting up with them at cons or?
Well, at the beginning, I was called Nerdtastic Girl when I first started in 2015, and I would go to the cons like WonderCon or in like Comic Cons mostly.
Yeah.
And I would interview people. I interviewed the girl from The Flash. I keep forgetting her name, but she played Frost. Like she was
Emma Frost?
No. Wait, yeah. I think so.
By the way, that's DC.
No.
We're mixing up.
Wait, The Flash is DC.
I know, but Emma Frost is Marvel.
Oh, not Emma Frost. It was Frost.
Jesse Quick.
She was like the Snow whatever. I don't know.
Okay, sure.
I cannot remember. And then
so many people have now clicked away.
Yeah.
Danielle Panabaker.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah.
Thank you, Ignatius.
Yeah, I met her. So I started walking up and interviewing people, and also, oh my gosh, she played I can't remember anybody's names. Because there's so
no judgment
long
here.
ago,
I'm so bad at names.
I can say she played the black lady in Star Trek.
Like the original.
Aurora? The original.
Black lady.
Kirk and all them. Yeah.
From Star Trek.
I can't remember.
Michelle Nichols?
Yeah, there she goes.
Uhura.
Yeah, Aurora. Yeah. Like I interviewed her. Like those are kind of people.
Damn,
and then
hang out with some cool people.
From then on, I went to Michael Gross from Tremors and stuff like that, and Tom Holland, and so those are the people I met in person.
Tom Holland, like the Spider-Man.
I wish he was a baby when I was.
You said Tom Holland.
There's another Tom Holland. He's a director of Child's Play. He did Thinner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
nice.
Him. Yeah, I'm him, and I got to go to his house. His interview was at his house.
What?
Yeah, that.
Okay, now I want some advice. How can one day I get inside these cool people's houses?
Well, that one was kind of a funny story. Like I met him, he gave me information his email, his son's email. I only talked to his son through email or messaging. He never met me, and he convinced his father to have me come to his house and do the interview there. And his son never met me. So he said, for you to convince my son to interview me and he never met you, you're good. And I was like, okay. So that was fun. I got to see the original from Fright Night, the original good guy doll.
No way.
That he had from the movie Chucky in the box. And on top of that was My Buddy. So yeah, that was
okay. That's super cool.
Yeah, that was, and he had artifacts, and oh my gosh, I was just like, I was trying to keep it together, and I was there for a couple hours. We were talking. His wife is so sweet. Yeah, it was just really nice. They have a lovely home. A very lovely home.
I
And the
would hope.
only thing that was like, don't be telling nobody where we live. I'm like,
Yeah,
I can't remember. I can't even remember. I don't even know. So
I got thrown in a van with a hood over my head to even get here.
it felt that way when I went, because it was like you couldn't see the house, you just saw a gate. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, okay. And I had to go to and say who I was, and the gate opened and it was huge. And then I still didn't see the house until I got all the way to the top. And then I turned the corner. I was like,
You went by yourself?
yeah.
This could have been a trap to take your organs.
It was worth it. It was worth it.
You got to see the original good guy doll, so worth it. Dang, so you've been doing this a while, about 9 years with the interviews.
9 years with Nerdtastic Girl, and then that was just a blog. So a lot of interviews, like the Chiodo brothers who did the Killer Comes from Outer Space, Team America, Critters, like them, and so those kind of interviews. And then I transitioned in 2018 to video, and then 2019 to YouTube, like strictly.
Okay, so how did you do video for, I guess, your audience?
It was live. I did live before I did pre-recorded. So everything was on Instagram Live, Facebook Live, when that stuff was like, let's do that. Yeah. And then I transitioned to YouTube.
So then what made you switch from the Nerdtastic, the kind of the general nerding out, to specifically horror?
Because it was quite difficult, because even though I was going to these Comic Cons, I didn't read comics like that. And so I felt out of place when I would go there. I didn't feel like those nerds were mean. They were bullies. And if I didn't if I didn't know something, I mean, they would come after you, or if you were inaccurate or stuff, especially because I was interviewing people from DC. I was trying to get into that in Marvel.
Yeah.
And if
daunting.
The questions were really complex, because I would talk about the movies or whatever they were in, but comic book, 37, variant this, people were like that. And I wasn't like that. So it was
gatekeeped you almost.
Yeah, it was a lot. And then and at the time I was into Ghostbusters, so I would dress up like a Ghostbuster and stuff like that. So, but then I was just like, I felt more comfortable with horror. Horror was something I always did my entire life. It was my first horror movie was The Thing. I was like 5 years old.
5?
Yeah, I was forced to watch it by my parents.
They went all like Clockwork Orange on you and put the apparatus on your eyes?
Damn near.
Oh my God.
Like, that's what's really interesting. Because I kept trying to sneak and watch it while they were trying to watch it in the living room. So they was like, okay, well, you're going to watch it.
Yeah, no sneak.
So they made me sit between them, hold my hand. No, put your hands down, and you're going to watch it. So the first scene was when Copper was trying to save Norris, and his chest burst open and took his hands, and his head slid off the table. Yeah. About 4 or 5 years old, about right.
So you don't love horror, it's just a trauma response for the rest of your life.
It could be. I mean, you could say that, but it was just
cheaper than therapy.
Yeah, we went to the movies as a family, went to the drive-in. Some of the first movies I saw at the drive-in was Evil Dead 2. It was one of the opening weekends. So I can honestly say I saw it when it first came out.
In a drive-in.
Yep. The best.
That's hardcore. What was the other movie showing that night? Do you remember?
I know they do double feature. Yeah, they do.
Evil Dead 1. It was a marathon.
I don't remember. But I remember seeing The Abyss and The Abyss, and there's another one. Aliens.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So
see that whole genre, like of horror movies during that time, almost like 19 85 to, I don't know, 93.
Mm.
I kind of made up those dates. But it feels like that's where like true horror fans are born. Like now horror movies are great and we love them, but it's something special about those. And I'm not able to put my finger on it. Can you?
Well, I would say growing up during that time in the 90s as well, it was so different. Horror was like, I mean, there was no, the sky was the limit. There were really, they didn't really start cracking down until like the early 90s, like, hey, you know, this is too gory, this is too this. And so I guess it's the, what is it, the MPAA or something like that. They started really, oh, you can't have this, you can only have one boob, you can't have both boobs, you can't have genitals on there. Rated R, rated X, NC-17. They were trying to figure out where everything goes because the movies, the horror was just cranking out left and right. And there were more mom and pop theaters, so they showed those movies. I mean, they had, you know, your local VHS store or whatever, but they really did. It was like one every few miles. It was a mom and pop theater. Yeah. Whether it was a drive-in or a walk-in that showed B movies, sometimes D movies. I mean, that was just, you know, gore, nasty, whatever, on top of whatever, you know, the latest film that was out at that time. So I'm glad I lived through that time. There was no boundaries. Nobody, people weren't so sensitive. Like, they know it was fake. It was for entertainment.
Yeah, right.
And then the comedy horror part, they just threw everything in there in the kitchen sink, and people just enjoy it. It was Friday nights, Saturday nights, go have fun. You had a hard time, go have fun. It's quite different now. Very different. Yeah.
And it even felt like with production, like that's when they first were figuring out like the prosthetics and the like practical effects. And just like you just said, just seeing what they could get away with. Like, oh, that'd be cool to have a physical head crawl out of a body and have extra arms and slimy as fuck. Wouldn't that be cool? Can we do it? Let's figure it out.
And they had to figure it out because it took a lot of engineering. It took a lot of patience because that stuff was expensive. It was made by hand. They didn't have, you know, visual effects.
Right.
Everything was practical. They had to figure it out within the camera, outside of the camera. So sometimes they had one shot to film it. So it had to be very meticulous. It had to be perfect, it had to be right. Yeah, it was, you know, even film, they used actual film to shoot this stuff, you know, so everything was, you know, like a professional, like people took it very seriously. So, yeah.
It was an art form, but I guess today's are still art forms, but it's a different kind of art. It's like working with a different kind of medium almost.
Yeah.
Like clay versus paint. Or
pretty much
clay, physical clay and animatronics versus a digital drawing board.
Yeah, I think a lot of that started to change in the like 91, 92, 93. I think Jurassic Park kind of really opened everybody's eyes to visual effects. I mean, it was probably a couple of films before that, but not on that grand of scale.
Yeah.
As Jurassic Park, and then you had Terminator 2 in particular, that really was like, wait a minute, you know, can he go through bars, you know, at a prison? Can T-Rex really run across a field? So yeah, and it started to take over, which I don't mind. It's just now you expect it. It's normal. But I miss the practical.
Sometimes it's not even as scary now in the horror films because I almost put myself in the position of the actor, and now they just have to pretend that they see something. When back then there was an actual dinosaur coming at your face in at least some shots. Yeah.
Yeah, it was something bursting out of someone's chest in Alien. Like, they didn't know when it was going to happen, but they knew they knew a chest burster was going to burst out. They just didn't know how. So their reaction is like, oh.
It's real. Or
Yeah.
I think of Galaxy of Terror. That poor woman had to actually get violated by a giant slimy worm. Like, I bet she needs some actual therapy after that. She can just
Yeah.
pretend. Yeah. So, what are some things about the horror genre that really get you excited about it and want to geek out over it every day of the year?
I think it's I don't know. It's such a normal thing for me that it's like second nature. I don't really think about it. It's
Do you
just like,
watch
oh,
other movies other than horror movies?
oh yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I can't do that every day. You go crazy.
As she sits in the dark, surrounded by monsters.
Yeah, you really do have to find some balance,
Yeah.
in there. But um I think what really gets me excited is that now I've noticed a lot of horror movies have a lot of personal stories. Um they're like a cry for help. I mean, some of the films that I actually like really looked at and analyzed, it's like, no, that's not just someone didn't make that story up. That they're saying something.
It's like a
Um
part of that is their story.
yeah, therapeutic. Some
Yeah.
people use it as it's more of an adventure. It's not just, oh, I'm scared. I mean, there's some movies I've watched where I actually broke down and cried because I felt the character. I knew how that felt
Mm-hmm.
when you go through something. So that's why I just know some of these horror movies that we're watching, and now, especially the ones that are coming after post COVID, because people were locked in their homes, they were writing, and I
Right.
think they were writing their true feelings. And obviously, you don't want to be alienated. No one wants to look like, you crazy and stuff. So, what better way to do it is make it into a horror movie where
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's fictional.
Yeah.
But
You
no,
almost
I
hide
could,
behind the.
yeah, I can read through that.
Yeah.
Probably about 99% of the time when I'm watching a horror movie.
And it does feel like the horror genre has moved towards, like, everything's making a statement.
Yeah.
When back then they were just horror almost for the sake of horror, or just to kind of see, like you said, sky's the limit, let's see what we can do. But now it's got to be a commentary. It's almost like we are the scariest monster on the planet, and the shit that we are capable of. Let's just highlight that, and there's your horror.
But there's some truth to that, because I think once, the whole COVID thing, the lockdown, and everybody, you saw true colors of a lot of people. And I think people use that to tell their stories, because, the first thing I was thinking, like, oh my God, we're going to see all these like virus horror movies and stuff like that. And then when they started coming out, I was like, wait a minute. Not too many was like that. There were more of like the human condition, mental health, mental illness, grief,
That's interesting.
loss. So a lot of films
Yeah.
are like that, because a lot of people passed away, and a lot of people were alone, had nobody to talk to, and some people lost their minds. It's like, so what better way to come up with a story? Write what you know, and then that's what they know. So yeah, that's what's coming out now. So I'm crying. I usually cry at romantic comedies. I'm crying in horror movies now.
It's this woman's getting like devoured by a monster. The monster is depression.
You know what? There is a movie that does that.
Which one?
Smile.
Yes.
That is about depression.
Great
and
movie.
Mental health. Yeah. So when I was watching, I was like, the monster is that depression. It is that escape of what is really in here. And she thought she could get away with it. You can't just turn it off. You got to get help.
I'm at a point now when I'm going to movies. Like, I used to analyze them because I went to school for theater. So that's all we had to do was just like analyze like script and character. And now when I go to the movies, I have to turn that off. Otherwise, I can't enjoy it. So even with horror movies, or maybe especially with horror movies, because to me, I'm like, oh, they're going to say less than maybe like the indie art film that I know is trying to make a blatant statement. But it's almost easier for me to just shut it off because I don't know, it takes the fun out of it. It's like going to a horror or haunted house. At least personally for me, it's like going to a haunted house, and now I can't stop admiring like the scenic art on the
Well,
walls.
well, I don't. It just depends on the film. How I come about of what is like really emotionally like getting to me versus not is that every movie I watch is like it's like taking a piece of puzzle, and the movie is the whole puzzle,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a part missing. So as I'm watching, I'm trying to figure out where can I fit my own trauma, my own thoughts into it. And if it fits in there, then I become more attached to the character, to the story, and then I can able to break it down. Because there's horror movies I'm like, oh my God, this is like horrible.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm just laughing and having a great time because it doesn't trigger those effects that I have, like when I'm doing all of that.
Yeah.
But there are some that just break me to the point where I have to pause it and take a breather, get water. My eyes are swelling from crying so much because it's just really hit something that is hidden within me, or I just understand what it feels like to be in that situation. Regardless if there's aliens or bugs coming, but there's a core part of the story. So yeah, I'm a weirdo.
No,
But it helps.
weird.
It helps when I interview, especially. I do that especially when I get ready for my interviews.
Oh yeah. Okay, so then let's say you got a big interview coming. How do you prep as the interviewer?
Oh, no one has ever asked me that question.
Two interviewers are now talking to each other. I'm just here to steal your tips.
So really, I watched the movie once, and I just try to, just watch it. The second time I watch is when I take notes. And what I'm looking for is, can I connect to the characters? Can I connect to the story? Can I connect in the situation? In anything. So I could connect to the story and cannot connect to the characters. Like I have to connect to something. And that is when I know, okay, I want to talk about this. So then I break it down. What are they wearing? What kind of colors are happening? Are they on a journey? Did they learn something? Are they being mistreated? Are they being bullied? It's like these things there. And I use my real life trauma, and trauma is not always a bad thing. That's a later thing, but it's not always bad.
No,
But
I'm with you. I agree there.
some trauma that I've grew up with, and I put myself in it. And that's how I'm able to extract, like, oh, this person is wearing red, this person is wearing green, and then the character, is wearing a combination of the two, and they're always in conflict. So that means something. The paintings behind them and things like that. So I had to learn that stuff from film school, and then I applied what do colors mean in art. I took art school too. So they come hand in hand in some way to understanding colors and the atmosphere. Yeah.
And that just makes you not only appreciate like maybe this actor or director, whatever, but just like the art of filmmaking.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
all art.
Yeah, it really is. It's just a moving canvas. That's how I see film. It's a moving canvas. It's an interpretation of a story that a director paints, or their vision from the writer. Or if they're the writer and the director, that's a bonus. So that's how I construct my questions. Every time you ask someone a question, you have to know what their job. What did they do? Are they a producer? Are they the actor? Are they the writer or director or whatever? Because you can't ask the same question to an actor to a director. It doesn't make any sense. They have no idea.
It's all
Most
based
of
on
the
their
time.
perspective, right?
Yeah. So I have to do research. Are they writing? Are they doing this? I look at their past work. What have they done in the past? So it kind of structures how I'm going to talk to them. So yeah, that's how that works.
What's up? It's your mother. Thanks for hanging out. Do you ever find that you're watching these movies in prep and you're looking for that, I guess, the commentary or like the meaning behind some choices, and you just don't find any?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and then the movies that comes on the list of the worst ones. No,
Mm.
no, no, no. Yeah, I've came across that. That's why I do not accept interviews unless I watch the movie first. I have to watch their movie first. If I cannot connect, we ain't talking. Not because I just don't like it. It's just the way I feel is how the response you're gonna get. Because I'm gonna ask you, what the hell was you thinking? You don't want nobody to tell you that. So I'll
That's some bad
say
press.
with grief, yeah, it's like, why would I do that? Why would I waste their time, my time? So yeah.
So I guess it's a good sign that when I reached out for an interview, you checked out this channel. So what thematic experience did you puzzle piece into 4 Geeks by Geeks?
That's different.
No, this time you were the guest.
Yeah, that was different. When you contact me, I did look. I was like, well, let me see who this is.
Smart.
Okay. Yeah, I looked and I was like, oh, okay. They're not. Believe me, I get weird things.
I'm sure.
So I have to check because I don't want to go on a channel that's for something horrible, or I get talked to horribly, or just bashed or something. I don't want to go through that.
Ew, has that happened to you?
No, because
Okay, good.
I go check it out.
I don't get asked that often, but on occasion there's been a couple where they reach out and then I'm like, sure, because we were small enough and we're still small, but I didn't learn those lessons like you had. And I was like, sure, I'll hang out. And then it's just like an hour of uncomfort and you just don't vibe.
My first, I want to say my first me being as a guest on a podcast or YouTube was Dead Meat. So when I got asked to go on there,
Starting at the top. Damn.
yeah, I kind of knew them at the time. That's a long drawn out story, but
Sure.
well, not really. Maybe I could do it in like a minute.
Okay, I'll time you. I'll start the timer.
Okay. So I interviewed the Chiodo brothers who did Killer Clowns from Outer Space. A year later, John Massari, who is the music composer, saw the interview and asked me if I wanted to interview him. So I did. Then we became friends. Then I met up at a horror convention and he said, hey, I would like to introduce you to Dead Meat because I know them. They're pretty cool. I didn't get a chance to do it through him. Another person that I used to work with talked about them really bad. And I was like, they could not be that. They couldn't be that bad. They're doing very well. So I saw them at a convention. I walked up to them myself and said, hey, how you doing? Took a photo. That was it. So when John Massari asked me, hey, are you busy? Here they come, James and Chelsea. So then that's how I met him. Then we kind of, interacted a little bit. And they was like, hey, would you want to be on my podcast? And I was like, cool. And then COVID happened. And then I didn't hear anything for a few months. And then they was like, hey, you want to come on? So I knew once I go on there, things were going to change. And that's how I am right now. So, yeah.
Good for you. So did you notice like a considerable shift after being a guest on their show?
Yeah. I mean, I still have to do the work because, it exposed me to a different side of horror. There's the fun side and the business side and putting your stuff out there. And what you got to do, you got to hustle. You got to pretty much, like prostitute yourself out. I don't know if you can say that. Not through that way.
No, but it feels like that. You're just like always whoring yourself out. Like, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Yeah,
please.
you really do. And
Buy into my content.
And your name means everything. Like, yeah, you can't, if that's why I check and look up people when they ask me, or you want to watch this or go on here. I'm like, let me look, because your name is your resume. Far more, because that's what people remember, So
like, you are your own business.
Pretty much.
You are the executive producer. You are the grunt. You are it all.
Yeah, I'm everything.
Do you have other people helping you, or just with your content, it's just you?
It's just me. It's scary. Because if I make a mistake,
horror movies and beyond.
That's it.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why I named it that. the horror movies and beyond. Because someone kind of mentioned, why wasn't it like a simpler, like a I don't know. It seems kind of broad.
Could be
And I said,
simplified.
exactly. Yeah. I was like, that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted, if you saw the name, you wouldn't know it was a woman. Like, I didn't want you to know anything, like nothing, the colors, the way it looked. I wanted no feminine, nothing.
Why was that?
Well, because I'm a strange person. Because I just thought, because I want to appear to like I don't know. I wanted to be the masses. I wanted to not as specific. I didn't want it to be too girly. I didn't want to be too masculine. I just wanted to be for everyone.
Yeah, you want anyone to be able to connect to it.
Yeah. So sure. I didn't want to wear like sexy clothes, because then you attract that. Mostly, like, I just wanted.
Believe you me, I know it.
Yeah, it just wanted to be in a plain, and then the people around me, I had to think about that. Who's around me? Who are the people I talk to and hang out with? And they don't look like that. So they don't look like the Elviras. They
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? They look like the Joe Bob. Right. It's like, okay, so
horror is for everyone, and it's accessible by everyone.
Yeah. So that I kind of wanted to, that's why it's the beyond part is the little extras that I do, which is Preternatural Mysteries, which I love, the supernatural, paranormal, and unexplained. So I love ghostly things.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a secondary thing
that
I do. And that is fun because I would never go into a haunted house or anything, but I love talking about it because
like a real haunted house.
Yeah, a real one, not a movie. Yeah, like I'll go in those, but a real haunted house, you will not catch me going in.
Really?
Not
but it interests you.
It interests me. I'll stand at the door and I'm holding everyone's car keys. Like, I'm the one that has the map, the car keys.
You will live to tell that tale. And your book will make millions.
Yeah, I am that. I'm in the middle. I'm not the beginning of the line or the end. No.
Oh no, I either want to be the beginning or the end. I'm just here for a good time, so I want to get scared out of my mind. But so you haven't ever had like a real paranormal experience?
No, not me. I witnessed someone go through it.
Okay, well, tell me about it.
Okay, are you ready for this?
No. But yes.
Okay, so
I'm leaning in now.
Okay. It's kind of dark. Anyway, my dad died, and
I'm sorry.
Still in. Oh, this is like, I was like 80. This was 87.
Okay. So I was -2. Got it.
-2. You were just floating around in someone's gonads.
Yep. That's me. Best days of my life.
Yeah, so that was, he died in 87, and the person who did it was my sister. And we still live, it was like down the line, make this long story short, we were still in the apartment where he passed away in, and I was there when he passed away. So there was like, my sister went kind of weird afterwards. There would be candles burning throughout the house, weird things. My mom was very superstitious, and it was just a lot going on. So I would sleep, and then I heard my sister in the living room making noises, saying things, and the way my bedroom door was cracked open, but I couldn't see down the hallway to the right. And all of a sudden, she just come running full blast into the room, and I was in the bed. And she was pushing on the door saying, he's trying to kill me. He's trying to kill me. He's trying to get me. And I was like, and I could see her on one side and I could see nothing on the other side. And she was pushing that door with all her might. She even put her feet on the dresser. And I'm looking, and the door would not close. So the door was like a foot open. And
she's pushing against the door. You can
she's pushing. Yeah.
There's nothing there.
This is like, this is the door.
Yeah.
This is my sister, and this is the empty spot. And then here's the, if it slammed shut right there.
Right.
So I'm staring and I'm like, there's nothing there. I don't see anyone. What are you talking about? And I was crying and screaming, and she was like, he was trying to kill me. And she was pushing the door with everything she can think of, feet on the dresser. I mean, just like full blown like this. And I was like, I don't see anything. So I got out of the bed and she said, do you see him? Do you see him? And I was like, there's nothing there. So I went to the door and I put my arm through the door like this. I was like, there's nothing here. Look, there's no one. So here's the door and here's my arm through it. And then I went like this and then it shut. And so I didn't freak out. I was just like, stop playing with me. Don't play with me. Even though I saw that she was pushing. But that is the only thing I witnessed.
That's some fucked up shit. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
that is the
crazy.
only thing in my life.
Physically
everybody else experienced all kind of weird stuff, but me, that's it. See, at least visually, it didn't happen to me though.
Maybe this is the wrong response, but I hear stories like that and I kind of get jealous. Not because of like the experience that led all up to that. That's terrible, and I'm sorry, but that paranormal.
I never want to go.
I want one
through any, and I like look up paranormal and things when I'm talking about it on my other type thing I do, which is strange because I am very scared of it. That is the only.
That is so interesting.
I am afraid of ghosts, like the whole paranormal, not the supernatural. There are two different things. Supernatural covers everything. Trolls, vampires, werewolves.
Sure.
Paranormal is just ghostly spirit apparitions and stuff like that. So yeah, that, oh hell no. But I talk about it on my
Yeah. You are becoming more and more interesting every second. You've been through this like actual scary shit as a kid, been forced to watch the thing at 5 years old, now are living out some weird transference. And
I'm
terrified.
And the thing is my favorite movie in the world. My favorite, above any movie has ever came out.
Because why?
Because it was like the first movie. One, it was both my parents were together, so it's just something about that. Two, blue is my favorite color, and most of it's blue. And it just it's just so interesting. The story is so interesting. It looks real. It looked like they're really seeing these things happen. The best practical effects at the time, and still to this day, no one could beat it. And in all actually 6 years ago, all 5, and that was an experience, and it's just really just give me good memories. It was the beginning of who I am today.
Yeah.
So it is just my favorite.
That's wild.
That's it.
It's wild, except it makes so much sense almost.
Yeah.
Like it's got all the makings of a happy childhood memory, except for the fact
it does. It
that
really
is terrifying.
Does. Is it terrifying?
That's
but it was cool when I got to meet 6 of the people, and that was a very expensive con.
I bet.
Did
you have to pay to meet them all? Okay, it wasn't like an interview that they invited you into their home.
No, I had to pay. It was Keith David. He played Childs. I have the poster. Oh, it's too dark, but the poster, let me see. It's right there with all the pictures. So I can only remember their names, like who their characters are, which is Fuchs, Childs, Palmer, Windows, and Blair. Dr. Blair, he passed away a few years ago. And then they all signed it. And then some special effects, the special effects artists, 2 of them signed it as well. And also in the middle is John Carpenter. So I met John Carpenter and he signed that. So it's in a little glass thing, and there is a comic book number one, that explains what happened to Childs and McReady when the
Ooh.
rescue team came after the end of the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it canon?
Probably. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's
Does it
what
count?
it is.
Or is it like just like a fan made kind of thing?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so, because I think it's what it is, because I've kind of heard through like readings from John Carpenter kind of,
Mhm.
and it's kind of spot on. So I think that's what it is. Like
that
is it, number one. That's it.
Is that your most prized possession back there, other than maybe the Twilight?
It's the number one. It's number one. Number two is the Hellraiser comic that is signed by Doug Bradley, Ashley Lawrence, the artist. The only person that has not signed it was Clive Barker. So hopefully one day.
It's not too late. Not too late.
Yeah. So yeah, that's in a glass thing too. So those are the two that if there's a burning building, I'm like, wait, I gotta go get something.
I think Hellraiser would be proud that you put yourself through a little pain to get what you wanted.
Suffering, yes.
That's my favorite thing at Halloween, is to see the people do like the Hellraiser. Not even cosplays. Like, yes, it's a cosplay, but these aren't cosplayers. These are just like your Joe Schmoes never do dress up except for Halloween. And they painstakingly put Q-tips all over their face. I just saw it the other night, and I was so impressed.
I saw I took a picture with a bunch of kids. There was like 3 of them dressed as Cenobites, full blown makeup, everything. They were little kids. They had to have been like
Jesus.
like 8 years old. Tails like, oh my god, look at the chatterer. It was so
Parents
cute.
doing it right.
Yep, the parents wasn't dressed. The kids were. They couldn't even walk a step. Everybody was taking photos of those kids. Even me, I have a photo. I had to get on my knees. They were so
You're so small.
Yeah.
Parents doing it right.
Yep, that's what you do. That's how you start them.
So you mentioned it before we started streaming, but you live every day in the horror. But at Halloween in October, what's that look like?
I kid you not. October is my downtime. I'm watching.
It's your month off.
I'm watching some romantic comedies. Yeah, I'm over it.
It's just because you're not only seeing it at home, now you're seeing it out in commercials and in stores and everywhere.
The only time I think it's the best time during that time is like getting decorations, because you could buy like some cool stuff that they put out, at these stores. Other than that, or deals from DVDs or whatever. But other than that, my busiest time is November to September. Believe it or not. Yes.
That's crazy. So I'm glad I caught you in your off month.
It's pretty much.
Here I am.
Like, I have I do
tomorrow.
interviews, but I don't do crazy. Like, people got to do, countdowns. I started to do that last year, 31 movies, and it was like, oh, this is too much. So I was like,
I feel like that's when the algorithm's going to love your content.
Yeah, but believe it or not, I get more views outside of it, because that's when everybody else kind of die off. And then, because
that's true.
Yeah, they still put it out there, but they don't put it out there as much.
Yeah,
that's where I put it out there a lot, because that is
everybody's
rejuvenated.
Spooky stuff, like this schmuck on FGBG trying to do something timely for Halloween, but after tomorrow, nobody is. It's just gonna be you just left.
Yep, and I'm gonna be pumping out
horror
stuff.
Okay.
So yeah,
brilliant. I see it. There's logic to it. So do you even dress up?
No. Well, I've never dressed up for Halloween ever. Never been to a Halloween party except for last year. I was invited to a Halloween party. And that was my first time And when I saw the invite, when I got it, I was like, what? Like it just, I didn't know what to wear. I didn't know what to do. So I made it. I made what I was going to wear.
Which was
And
what?
the chest burster. That's right there. So,
Oh. Oh, cool.
I made that.
How'd you make that? I'm gonna make you big. How'd you make that? That's awesome.
So this is clay. All this is clay.
Okay.
So it's very light.
Yeah.
And there's foil to keep it the shape. Wires when I put it on this just chest thing under my shirt.
Mm-hmm.
This is just paint, Mod Podge, and oh my gosh, it is oh my god, this is just what is that?
Like a
I
hot
can't
glue?
think yeah, there you go, hot glue, and that's it.
I am
It's very light.
impressed.
Yeah.
That paint job.
So when you put it on, when I had it on, it was like this. And I had a bloody shirt and
okay, like just something like the clothes kind of wrap around it a little bit.
Yeah. So it was like bloodied and everything. And then I had the face hugger attached to me as well. So the face hugger is a screen replica. So it's big. It's not like a small one.
Like that's way over there and it's that big, taking up your entire dresser.
Yeah, it's like so yeah. So you can see.
Oh my god.
So if it goes over,
that's so gross. That's awesome.
So yeah. This was
never dressed up for Halloween except once.
Yeah. So that was so yeah, so that was the first time. And this time I got invited to the same party, and I didn't know what to do, so I was dressing up like a clown, but I went into like an 80s rave type person. So yeah.
Well, congratulations on your very first Halloween party.
Second one. Hopefully this is the third.
So now it's a new tradition.
Oh yeah. So I'm ready for next year. There's 2 ideas I want. So Flint Lockwood from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Oh yeah. I was trying to think. I'm like, what horror movie? No,
it's not even a horror.
It's a solid movie
because I felt like Flint. No one understands you.
Aww.
And no one understood him. Oh, I cried when I watched that because his mom was the only one that understood him. His dad didn't get him until he almost lost him. So I felt like him. Like no one understand my talent, and my dad's gone. So I felt like that. I felt like that. So.
Well, I hope by now, after you've been doing this for 9 years and your following is raising all the time, that you feel like people are noticing the great talent that you have. And like these celebrities are welcoming you into their fucking houses. So there has to be something you're doing right. And I hope you feel that.
I'm my worst critic.
Yeah.
Man. And I'm very modest. I don't like talking about myself. I'm just like, I cow away. Like, you just see me at parties. I just stand there and watch people talk, and they be like, "Well, she does this," and I'm just like,
"She's the most interesting person in the room, actually."
And then once I start talking, I'm just like,
you can't stop.
Oh yeah,
just start geeking out.
Yeah, that is me.
No, what I'm really curious about is, since you're such the horror fan, what your top 10 favorite horror movies are versus your top 10 hated horror movies.
Ooh, okay. So
before you just launch right in,
okay,
just set this up, y'all. We talked previously. I didn't just spring this on her, and we've together created our own lists of our top 10 favorite horror movies, top 10 worst horror movies. So fucking difficult. If you've never tried to sit down and do it, I challenge you, do it. I'm actually really kind of nervous because, like, you were going to these cons, talking to these people, didn't dive as deep into their Marvel and DC. That's what I'm about to do with my top 10 list with the queen of horror herself.
Well, you know, even though I like horror, I do watch Marvel and DC. I do
Yeah.
know some of that. So it's this, I was the one staying up 4 a.m. trying to get tickets to see Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
That was me online trying to
You don't have that much
Avengers.
problem out here in
Yeah,
Indiana.
Endgame. That was me buying. Yeah, so I do. Yeah, I'm
Still,
not
I
just
feel out of
bored.
my depth right now with you. So
Mhm.
just to take all my suggestion with a grain of salt, these are just my opinion. If anybody wants to flame me in the chat or in the comments, go for it. It's engagement. I'll take it all. But which list would you rather start with? The favorites or the worst?
The I would say the worst because I couldn't get 10. I
Okay.
could only get 5. And believe me, I think they take over the missing 5 too. They're just the energy from those were just atrocious.
Okay. Well, then let's do it this way. Let's start at,
Okay.
since you only have 5, I'm going to ignore my 6 through 10,
Okay.
even though I kind of want to rattle them off and just let you hear them. But we'll start
Well,
at
let me
5,
hear them anyway.
4, 3,
Because
2,
remember,
1.
I watch Marvel and DC. I probably agree or disagree with
Well, no,
yours.
these are horror movies. These are
horror movies. Oh,
yeah.
I thought you said that. Oh, I'm tripping. Sorry.
No, I was comparing you feeling out of your depth at cons early with the
Oh.
Nerdtastic. That's how I
Okay.
feel right now with you talking about horror movies.
Oh, well, I'll judge them.
I know you will. I hope so. So I put number 10. Actually, you can hate me for this. The entire Halloween franchise.
As the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Hold up. You said the entire. So
You know, I
What-
guess I haven't seen every single Michael Myers film, but it's one of those like really classics. Like I want to love it, and that theme. Nothing gets me like the theme, but by the end of it, like I just saw what Michael Myers dies again for the 18th time in the theaters, and it was like the one that I'm like, I don't care to see this movie, but I'm gonna see it anyway.
see, you have to. Okay, hold up. When you say the entire, like, are you talking about the newer ones included?
Yeah.
Or 78 down. All of them.
Okay, maybe. And this is where like I said, I'm out of my depth. I haven't thought about this as much as you have, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Halloween movies.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
They probably did a lot for the entire horror genre, and that's fine. But I'm gonna take a shit right on its chest. My number 9 was actually The Terrifier,
I can agree.
only because of one scene that wrecked me for
Oh, is it
weeks.
the?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Like I'm into gore. I love a Saw, but it was that scene, and I couldn't get out of my mind. And I'm like, oh my god. And so for that, it needs to go into the no pile for me.
mm-hmm.
Pearl is my number 8.
Okay.
Have you seen that
I've
one?
never seen Pearl.
Okay. I don't know. It's trying to say too much, and I don't understand it, and maybe I have to think too hard. 7 is They. Do you remember They?
Oh, Wes Craven's They?
I think so.
Or there's another They.
I didn't pay attention to the director at the time I watched it.
Is it a woman on the front cover?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That
That confused me when I saw that one. It was like, wait a minute.
That's why I hated it.
You had to pay really good attention with that one.
Yeah, it was too much. I'm like, I don't get it. The ending sucks. And then my number 6 is The Nun.
I can agree.
Okay. Just because I'm over these like exorcism.
I can
nun
agree with
things.
that one for a reason because
Okay.
I'm friends with Bonnie, the nun.
You're friends with her?
Yeah, so I have to clarify that.
You're like, I agree with you. I still love you, Bonnie.
I like the
Not friends
nun.
anymore.
So, Bonnie, I like the nun.
I apologize.
Just wish there was more of her because you don't. It just threw off because you say the nun, you're getting the nun, and you're not getting the nun. But I did hear number 2, you do get the nun. So I still haven't seen number 2.
I haven't either. I just really liked The Conjuring. Like I thought that was a super solid film, and then this whole offshoot of films after, I feel like kind of went away from whatever they had going for them in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so now we're at number 5. I want to hear your number 5.
It is Resident Evil Retribution.
Okay, now I gotta Google these because I've seen almost all of them.
I've seen them all.
I can't remember which
that is the only movie on record that I almost walked out. I actually stood up.
Really?
I was gonna walk right out.
What made you want to walk out of this movie?
The first 20 minutes was extremely slow motion.
Uh-huh.
And it just dragged.
Yeah.
And it didn't make any sense. It was like they were finding a way to duplicate her or whatever they did. It was just, and then the whole town was fake. I couldn't do it. I was like,
that's what
I love Mila. I love her. But I was like, girl, I'm about to get up.
Your agent done you wrong on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not good. That one was the worst one.
Okay, haven't seen it, but now I kind of want to watch. I'm going to watch all the movies on your worst list.
You probably seen it.
Except this one. My number 5 was Hereditary.
I could see why.
It's like I said earlier, I don't want to have to think that hard.
You do have to really think about that one. The first time I watched it, I couldn't get it. I was like, why everybody like this? And I finally said, I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this again. And I got it. But I had to really think, and I was getting a headache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go to movies to escape having to think about all that.
Yeah, you really got to think about that one.
Okay, what's your number 4?
Oh my God, I hope everybody agrees. It is Texas Chainsaw Massacre that came out in 2022, Netflix.
Where they're in the town and they're like shooting a bunch of influencers or something?
Yes, I was done. Done.
That was,
and I saw it.
Really bad.
I saw the countdown when it was finna come out, and I sat there with my snacks, and I was just like, "What has happened to this franchise?" Yeah, I was done.
I do like me a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was the one that I was trying to sneak in while my sisters were watching when I was a kid.
Well, those were fun. I've seen all those. They meant to do what they meant to do. Mm-hmm. This one, it was a joke. They were
joking. I think that was a really expensive joke for them.
They stole from different films.
Did they?
Because think about it. I don't know if it's the scene.
I've seen it once.
Oh, you seen it once?
Yeah.
Oh, you maybe won't remember. I don't know. But there's a scene that they copied from Halloween Kills. It was Ends. When he came out the house and he had the fire up in the air. I think that was Ends. It was a chainsaw to the fireman. It was a chainsaw to the woman in the air. I said, this is the same movie. There was some things that just didn't make sense. But anyway.
I need you to do an interview with the director and find out if that was intentional.
I do need to talk to him because they need to. He's becoming the M. Night of horror right now.
Is that a good thing?
M. Night came back. But M. Night fell off for a minute, and this David Gordon Green is turning into that M. Night moment for him.
Well, he just has to get through his M. Night to get to the other side of the good M. Night. Because what'd you think about A Knock at the Cabin or Knock at the Door or whatever it was? The newest M. Night.
I really analyzed that movie. I have an opinion what that movie's about, and I don't want to say it.
Okay.
Because it's kind of I don't want to say it.
Because it's kind of nuts. Is that what you're gonna say?
No. It's I just think he was knocking on an idea of two people that were in love with each other, that were opposite sex, and they had to sacrifice for something that they just didn't understand, and just to keep them apart based on religious perspective of what was supposed to happen.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, like I thought about it. I thought about that. I was like, wait a minute.
I don't like the movie anymore.
That's why I didn't want to say it.
I liked the movie. Wow, you're just here to ruin everything. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, that's what I saw, and I kind of walked away like, oh, that's messed up. Yeah,
That's tricky
that is true.
when you're messing with those subjects, putting them together.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just entertainment value anymore, unless you're Boser and not thinking.
That's what I got out of it. It could be different for someone else. So.
Okay, my number 4, Leprechaun.
Aww.
And I kind of struggle with that because I just watched it for the first time, not too long ago. And like I would put that in the realm of like it's bad for like it's so bad it's good.
It scared me as a kid. I saw it when it came out.
And I watched it like last week, so.
So you have to watch certain movies back then for the experience, and I think the interpretation would be different.
I'm sure.
So,
I'd probably be afraid. But we have to quit this gold, so fix your brain and make you smart.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm smart. And then just like the trajectory of the next several Leprechaun movies, like in space, into Hood, and I'm like, come on.
Mm-mm.
We could do better even in the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your worst number 3?
Halloween Kills.
Oh, okay. I gotta read out which one that is. Can't keep track anymore.
This is the one where the whole town acted so dumb, where they believe this short man was Michael Myers and they're chasing him down. And I mean, the whole town in the hospital, Laurie Strode laying in there because she got stabbed up. I mean, it was just, and then they're chasing this man all the way up. And I'm like, you could see that this man is not 8 feet tall. Like Michael Myers, he's like 3 feet tall and they're chasing him down. He's the killer. And the whole town everybody was just, oh gosh, it was terrible. It was just not good.
And that's okay. Is that the last one or is there one after that?
There's one after that.
Okay. And they just came out in such succession. And I'm like, do we need these? And so that's why the whole franchise, I just like threw it out with the baby in the bathwater. So I'm like, he's just a man in the end. He can't be that inhuman. At least with like Jason, like it's pretty much the same thing, but at least they made him supernatural. So I'm like, okay, there's a reason he's not dead. My number 3 is the Human Centipede 2.
I can see why. Oh my god.
The first one I really enjoyed. The second one I'm like, oh, holy shit balls.
I laughed. The funniest thing that happened in that is when that pregnant lady was running. She got in that car and you wouldn't think that was going to happen, and she just had the baby and stumped on the gas and was gone. And I was laughing because it was just what?
At least they were leaning into like the trolls on the internet at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I never saw the third one, but now I kind of want to. The prison.
Oh, I tried to watch it. It was just
you couldn't get through it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. Yeah, and then you find out in the Human Centipede 2 that it didn't even happen.
That what didn't even happen? The first one?
No, everything that was happening didn't happen yet.
Wait, what are you talking about?
When you're watching the movie, the little guy with the glasses, nasty, he didn't do it yet.
Oh, he was planning on it.
That was his vision because he was watching a video about the guy.
Okay. Again, it's been years, and
he wanted to be like the guy, like the first guy. He was watching a movie about the first one.
But I thought he actually did it, and he got the actresses.
At the end, he was going to go do it, but it didn't happen yet. Because when it cut off, it showed him preparing to do it. So that was his vision. So yeah,
makes it even worse. At least pull the trigger, God. All right, what is your worst movie number 3?
I think it's number 2.
Oh, number 2.
Halloween Ends.
These are all just Halloween. So you hated from 2 years ago, and now you hated even more than last year.
Oh my gosh. What? That was the worst one. The worst. Oh my god.
He better be dead by the end of this.
Have you seen Ends?
I have.
Well,
That's the thing, I keep watching him even though I don't want to.
He ain't dead. He coming back.
How?
Just how they did Chucky in 2. They're gonna take the body parts and melt them together, and his blood's gonna drip into something, and then another body. Yeah. My
God. They're ruining like a perfectly good. It was good, but it just ruined it. Now it threw it all out. My number 2, M. Night Shyamalan's The Village.
I can see why. That ending was not fun. I was mad. I was mad. I thought you would have said, well, I'm not going to say it yet.
No, my last one, I'm not even sure how strongly I feel about it being my number 1, but it's probably going to piss you off.
I hope it's an M. Night one. Is it an M. Night?
No, it's not, but it's going to piss you off. All right, that was your number 2? You said number 2? Okay, what is your top most hated horror movie?
Troll 2.
Okay, I got to watch a Troll now.
I almost 2.
Oh no, I saw Trolls. I saw Trolls 1.
There's Trolls 1, which was creepy. That was good. There's number 2. Number 2 was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
I gotta keep going then.
Yeah, that was just atrocious.
I forgot about Trolls. I just watched that like I don't know a month ago. It was so bad.
Well, the first one I liked. The number 2.
Those stupid masks
joke. Yeah,
those children in masks.
That was a joke. You don't piss on hospitality. Oh hell, come on now.
But then it took like a huge crank up. It's almost like the director got fired and hired somebody new when they get back to the house.
Yeah,
and just that one shot of naked mom being eaten. I was like, this is not the same movie that I just watched for an hour. You just flipped the script.
Yeah, it's not a good movie.
Well, I'm going to watch it. Based on that recommendation, I am absolutely watching it. Okay, the one that I put at my number 1, it's Night of the Living Dead.
Which one?
The one from the 80s.
The 1990?
1990.
Because there's 68 and 1990.
Then 1990. Because I think I was watching, I think I meant to watch 68. But then they're all in black and white regardless, right?
The 90s is not black and white.
Night of the Living Dead.
The 90s is directed by Tom Savini, and Tony Todd plays the black guy.
Then this was the black and white one. Then it must
the black and white 1968.
Yeah,
that's all right.
It was horrible. I expected more because it's like, am I wrong in thinking that is kind of where like zombie, this whole zombie thing kind of started?
Well, I think it was like the beginning of a movie like that. Like they were like, what is going on? Like, where is this coming from? And he adventured into something that wasn't talked about. But also it came out in 1968. So to have a black guy to star in a movie like that was already hitting the nerve for a lot of people. But George A. Romero was like, I didn't hire him. This is what he said. I didn't hire him because, he's black. I hired him because he was a great actor. I didn't care about what color he was.
Right.
And you didn't see anything like that, especially in such a really big film. So when it is kind of, it's different. It's a little boring. It's a little, different than what you watch now. But as far as like where it came from and how it started and having a black guy starring role, I mean, you got to look at that film during the times, which was 1968,
right?
Because it was just, the civil rights and all that stuff. So yeah. I, so
And
I
I think
get
I
why
watched
you
it in
think,
college, and like again, I wasn't thinking about any of this. I'm just like, I
yeah.
wanted to be better.
Yeah. But if to watch it as like this film is, I don't like it or whatever, I get why it is kind of boring. It is kind of like,
I wanted more.
yeah.
But I guess I didn't realize it was 68. I thought it was later. So it gets more grace from being in the 60s rather than like the 80s.
Oh, if it was the 80s that bad, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I told you I didn't feel super strongly. I was just like pressed, and I'm like, I have to make a decision. I'm gonna be here all night. Okay, so I left with some good recommendations. Now I'm curious. I know we're running low on time, but I want to know your top 10. What are
Okay. What are my top 10? So I'm gonna start with number 10.
Yes.
Leviathan came out in 1989.
Ooh.
It's a movie about some people who are doing some underwater piping, oil rigs, or whatever. So it's kind of a combination between The Abyss and The Thing, and it
Ooh.
actually says that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was meant for that.
That's what it says on the back of the box.
Yeah, it's a really great film. I like it.
Never seen it. Have to check it out.
Nope is number 9.
Wait,
you gonna go?
I gotta go with you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I had Pearl on my worst, but I have X on number 10.
I liked X. I did. X was
Especially
good.
realizing that she was like the same actor throughout.
Yeah.
I have a lot of
She
respect
has
for that.
like a little mousy voice, which
Yeah.
is like, whoa. She's so like.
And then she can just make the most horrible, ugly sounds in
Yeah.
Pearl.
Yeah, she's great. I like her.
She's unhinged in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you said your 9 is Nope.
Yeah, nope.
Okay. Oh, I was gonna ask about the other 3 in the, in his directing universe.
Oh, Us and
yeah,
Get
like
Out?
Us and Get Out, but maybe they're on the list elsewhere. My 9 is actually Nightmare on Elm Street. Because to me, that's like as classic.
Wait, which one?
The original.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wes Craven's. No. It's just as like classic Halloween movie as you can think of. And I've always thought as Freddy as one of the most creative like slashers of that day.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so fun. Like you can't escape him. He's in your dreams. That's terrifying. And he's not even real. You can't kill him. This is amazing. All right, number 8.
Candyman, that came out in 1992.
Ooh, original. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that for my birthday, or it was a birthday, whatever. My sister didn't tell me. She said, we're going to go see Candyman. And I'm like, oh,
sounds fun.
Candyman. Man. And then, you know what she did? I'm in the bathroom taking a shower. She cut off the lights and said his name, run out the window, run out the door.
In the mirror?
Yep.
Oh, shit. That's rude.
Yeah. That's
It
my
sounds like you've
family.
been tricked into every horror movie. It's fine. We don't get sponsors. It's okay.
Oh, well, I don't know.
And
People
we're
are like,
definitely not sponsored by any coffee company.
okay.
You're fine.
Okay.
I actually said 8. I don't know that you would even count this as horror, but it's technically in the genre. Cabin in the Woods. I just love the whole premise of that.
It was good.
The fact
The-
that
the
maybe
ending
every
made-
movie
The
is...
ending.
Yeah.
Though. The
It made you mad?
Yeah.
I just want to see every movie on that list. Like, I want to see that scary merman killing people in the whole movie.
It was good. It was
I need to
good
come up.
until to the end when Sigourney Weaver was explaining, and I was like, "You got to be joking! All this for this?"
Uh-huh.
And I was mad.
Yep. I don't know. I was so for it, like how they just flipped the script at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, you can do no wrong. This is awesome.
Yeah.
All right, number 7.
I have The Fly, 86.
Okay, never seen it.
Jeff Goldblum.
Wow.
Oof.
And his crown
Perfect.
jewel performance. Okay, I'll
Those
watch it.
practical effects is just glorious.
As I was preparing for this and scrolling through all these horror movies that I knew I was going to forget about, The Fly just kept coming up, and I was like, you know what? I think I got to give it a chance. Because that's like the originals, like from the 50s, right?
Yeah,
Nice.
I saw
okay.
that one too.
Of course you have. You wouldn't
That
be
one was
horror movies and
scary.
beyond.
That was scary. I don't know. I was looking at that. I was like, this is terrifying because he actually looked like a fly. And then the guy was like, help me, with a fly body. And the guy like stumped the crap out. That's so messed up.
My number 7, I couldn't decide if I really wanted to. I could think harder, but I just said the Saw movies. Because to me, they're all kind of grouped.
Yeah.
I know what you're going to get. Like, they're fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a good family film.
Yeah. I remember seeing the first one in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And when that body got up, I was like, oh, everybody in the theater was like, oh, yeah, yeah.
The whole time.
The whole time.
Awesome. And then you just think about how far it goes from that first movie to like 10 or X, I guess they'll call it, because it's not really 10.
And then you find out the guy, I don't know how, did you watch them all?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know if folks at home.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Never mind.
Spoiler, skip ahead 10 seconds. Yeah, I just like them. Anyway, number 6. What's your 6?
The Deadly Spawn that came out in 83.
Is that like Spawn? Like the
No. Deadly Spawn is these creatures that came from outer space that grow massively huge by eating people, but they look like giant phalluses with teeth.
Yes! Here for it.
They actually look exactly like it.
Oh my god, so I shouldn't put it up right now?
No, you can't put it up. But you have to really look at it. Like, you have to really be like,
oh my god.
now can you see it?
Yes. That's my safe search is blurring some of these.
The best
I'm showing you
practical effects ever. Some of the best. Up there with The Thing and The Fly. Look at that. And it looks like that, and it chases after people.
That's awesome.
Mess you up. You know why I like this? Because the boy that is in the film, he is a horror fan. The boy right there. He's I actually dressed like him. he is a horror fan. And he helps save them by remembering about his horror. Like, he's not afraid because he deals with that stuff. So when it was time to save the family, look at that.
That's
look at,
awesome.
That is terrifying. Imagine a little kid watching that. That is terrifying.
He's so proud.
He should be. That is one of the best practical effects. I tell everybody about. They were like, I never seen it. You gotta see it. It's the best.
Yeah, I am gonna, like, after this, I'm gonna go up to bed. I'm gonna see if I can find it on something.
It is on it is streaming. You can find it. I think yeah.
No, that's awesome. I've never heard of that one.
The Deadly Spawn. Oh, the best.
Okay, my number 6 is actually Paranormal Activity. I know that in hindsight, right? Like, it's not as great, but I remember I saw this in college, and it flipped the script. It was like a new form of horror that hadn't been done before. Blair Witch maybe came close with like the unsteady cam, but in that setting, and because it was just so different, that like actually scared me. After I left the film for like a couple weeks, I just kept thinking something followed us home, and it was like cursed.
Yeah. The first one was good. I did see that in the theater. No, actually, no, I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it. I think it was a VHS. I don't know. I actually fast forward through a lot of the things because the time going by and her standing up at the bed, it was taking too long.
No, that's part of it. That's the experience.
And then I watched it the second time, and I was right. I don't like it. Yeah. And then they had 2, 3. I was done. I was over it.
Oh, they get worse for sure.
Yeah.
But I guess I saw it in theaters, and there was like one of those, like, now movies get hyped like Barbieheimer and all that, but then that didn't happen as often. And so having a packed theater, like watching all those seconds tick by and everyone's heart racing in collective unison, it was an experience.
It was. But I still didn't care for it.
It's fine.
I was like, I'm over it.
All right, number 5.
Clown that came out in 2014.
Clown horror movie.
Where the guy, he finds a clown outfit because the clown didn't show up for his son's birthday, and he put it on, did not know that it was a demon clown's skin, and it became attached to him, and he was changing, and the only way that he could unchange if he eats 7 little children.
Oh, they're from the Masters of Eli Roth?
Well, the guy who created it, he attached Eli Roth's name to it, even though he didn't know nothing about it. So once he got a hold of it and he saw like a snippet of it, then he helped produce it.
Okay.
So he did it as a joke, but then Eli actually liked it.
Oh, okay, I see. 2019.
It's good. Right, it is so underrated. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I knew you were going to give me some low-key good ones that I've never heard of.
The best story. It really is good.
Okay, my number 5 is Silent Hill.
Okay.
Just because I love the world, and like Pyramid Head freaks me the fuck out. Even at cons, when people dress like him, something triggers in me, and I have a visceral response, and I run the opposite direction.
What's really a doozy about that is that Pyramid Head is not a bad guy.
No. He's just a protector.
He's the protector of Alessa.
Yeah.
I played the game. I played 1, 2, 3, and The Room. You ever played The Room?
I don't do well with horror games.
Oh,
I love movies.
Screaming.
Love haunted houses, but it stresses me out. Like even playing Resident Evil movies or games.
Number 3 is scary, but The Room was too scary. It was way too scary.
I can't even do Five Nights at Freddy's. That's too scary.
Oh, I've never, you know what? I never played it, and I never really heard about it until like a year ago.
And now they have the movie.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the movie. I think it looks pretty spot on, at least the characters.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 4.
It Follows.
I kept seeing that, and I'm like, ooh, that sounds good. It's about like the cursed STD, right?
Pretty much. It was, when I first saw that, I was like, ooh, that was creepy.
Is it actually scary, or is it like making fun of itself?
It's not making fun of itself. I think it's scary. I don't know. It just depends on how you look at it. It's scary because you're not understanding what is happening. But, oh, thank you.
You love your head. This is Alec. He's one of our mods. He's not creepy.
It's just that feeling of these, whatever they are, walking. They look normal. They're walking, no matter where you run, they're just walking towards you. And I just think that is scary. I don't know. Something and it's quiet and it's just walking.
That is creepy.
Yeah, it's more I don't know if it's scary. It's just creepy.
It almost reminds me of those springy creatures from The Wiz. Those freaked me the fuck out too.
Oh yeah,
because they don't move fast.
The Wiz was scary.
That is a horror film.
I was scared, and I was under the covers. This was not a fantasy. It was a horror movie.
To this day, those just thoughts of those spring creatures, like, yeah, freak me out. Okay, now my number 4 was actually Get Out.
Oh, it's good.
Because
that was a lot of cerebral.
But in a way that I liked. I don't know why. Like his movies, I'm willing to think, and I will pay attention. I'm not just gonna look to be scared. Like my wife didn't like Nope, but I really did. Yeah, because it's a different conversation. It's a different conversation being brought into the horror film genre, and it's necessary, and I love it.
He is a great storyteller.
Yeah, and he started from like Mad TV
and comedy.
I love it. Okay, number 3.
The Conjuring.
Solid film. That was really scary to me. My number 3 was actually It from 2017.
Okay.
Only
I didn't like 2. 2 was too long.
No, 2 was too long. Number 1 was better.
Yeah.
But to me, like when I went back and I never saw It as a kid. Like when everybody.
You didn't see that one?
I saw it later. but not as a kid.
Okay.
So
saw
when
that
I
one as
saw
a
it,
kid.
I'm like, okay, this is campy. It's stupid. I can see there's some scary bits, but I felt like the revamp improved on everything that I had problems with originally.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
thought what's Skarsgård just killed that role.
Oh, he did. He even looked like him without the makeup.
Hmm?
He did the smile. I was like, oh, Lord.
They didn't even know he can spread his eyes and they were going to give him a
That on
contact. And he's like,
I
oh, I
was
can just
like-
do that. And they're like, wait, what?
His eyes like, ah. Yeah, but I saw the original as a kid. And yeah, that got me.
And it got everybody. So I wasn't allowed to watch it. I
Oh.
lived a very sheltered
Oh, you
life.
missed out.
I did. I didn't have loving parents that forced to traumatize me in front of horror movies.
I know,
at 5.
such a shame.
Yeah.
Such a shame.
Wow. All right, number 2.
Aliens, 86.
Nice. I for some reason I never thought of that as a horror movie. I guess it is.
It's a horror movie for me.
Yeah.
It's gonna stay there. Sci-fi horror, they all go together in some way. There's
Hey,
blood, guts, things bursting out of people. It's
Oh, yeah.
horror too.
If you like practical effects and aliens, have you heard of Tris Rex?
It sounds familiar,
Uh,
but I'm not sure.
Later on, just check him out. Follow him on Instagram. He's Chicago local. He is like really, his art is practical effects and huge monsters. He
Mhm.
does some of his cosplays, and he made like a huge alien queen. This thing's
Oh.
massive, and he takes it to like C2E2 now.
Oh, okay. The name sounds familiar, so I'll check it out.
Yeah, he's super cool. He's been a guest on the show, and I've seen him at C2 because it's close. That's the biggest con that we go to. Good night, Alec. Thanks for lurking. Go drop baking powder off at a friend's house. She's my manager, so I have to do it. It's off hours. No, you don't. All right, my number 2 was the Blair Witch Project. It's just classic.
I agree that, and
It's scary.
yeah.
Like that's a movie that we could have made, but the way they did it and the way it unfolds, it's just that's good storytelling right there.
And the best advertisement, like you believe they were missing.
Mm-hmm.
They were posters. I mean, you believed it. Oh, you thought it was real until they showed up at the MTV Awards. I was like, wait a minute.
You're
Hold
so
on.
bad.
But funny story, that I watched that in the theater in 99. Now 2023, I was interviewing Eduardo Sanchez, who is the director of
No
that
way.
for Satanic Hispanics, and he complimented on my stuff back here, and he was happy. Yeah, it was like you never know what path your life is gonna put you.
Isn't that wild? What would you go back and tell little Ivotres back then?
Invest in YouTube. Yes.
Yep.
Video. Do whatever it takes, because I wanted to do acting. I wanted to be in film, and I let people tell me otherwise. I would say, do it. I don't care how hard it is, what they tell you, just do it. Yeah.
Just do it.
Yep.
All right. I'll tell you my number 1, and then I want to hear your number 1 horror movie, which I think I might know. Mine, of all of them, it might be weird, but I really like what it did. It really liked the story, and it had you feeling different things the entire time.
Okay.
Barbarian. That is a solid ass.
I could talk about that movie for 24 hours.
I bet you
Oh
could.
my goodness. That movie had me all over the place.
Yes, you're scared, and then you're laughing, and then you're scared again.
I was mad.
Were you mad?
I was mostly mad. I was not scared.
I loved it.
I made a
It's
video.
ridiculous.
I complained about it the entire. No, I do like it. I just complained. Yeah, there were like 3 movies in one. It was just odd.
It literally was.
Yeah.
But
And
I was
the
okay with that.
decision making.
Terrible. Like, oh yeah, let's just keep going down this path.
It was
Nope.
Yeah, I could talk about that. All what was I could have like a whiteboard and like really talk about all the things wrong that she did. Yeah.
Okay, well, next time you're on, let's just focus on that. I'll watch it. Get some real thoughts together.
Yeah.
All right, and what is your number one horror movie of all time?
It is The Thing.
What?
82.
Can I now confess something?
Yeah.
I've not seen it.
How do you get out of here?
I don't even have a good reason that I've not seen it. It's just I haven't seen it. And it's a shame. And so now you really made me a big believer, and I'm put it on the list, and I'm going to watch all of these movies, and I'll let you know when I do.
Yeah, The Thing, as you can see, The Thing, this, and I even have the Thing figure right there,
Nice.
out of the box, sitting there, beautiful.
So you can play with it and cuddle with it.
Yeah, I have videos. Yeah, I have the old one, The Thing from Another Planet. It came out in what, 1955 or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, that was first?
Well, the book "Who Goes There" that came out in I believe in the 30s was first, and then there's yeah. Oh my God, I just said it. The Thing from Another Planet.
Mm-hmm.
And John Carpenter's is a reboot from that one. And then you have the one that came out in 2011, 2012, The Thing. That's the prequel of John Carpenter that came after The Thing from Another World that most people hated because of all the CGI. It started off was supposed to be practical, but then the studio was like, yeah. And then that's all that happened.
I can't remember if I saw that one. And I was like, why have I seen this one, but I haven't seen the real one?
So when you watch...
That's the prequel?
The one that came out in 2011 is the prequel. It's just the same name. And it was for marketing reasons. So that one explains why when MacReady and Copper went to the Norwegian facility and how it was tore up and everything, it explains what happened at the Norwegian facility that they enter and how the dog got away.
Got it. Okay, I can't recall if I've ever seen this. I'm looking at screenshots of it essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember.
So,
but I thought that I'd seen something, but I know that I have not seen the original.
Yeah, a lot of people like, oh, the remake. I was like, that is not a remake. It's a prequel. They're planning to do another one, which I think is
like a sequel.
Yeah,
or a reboot. Okay.
I heard it's a sequel, but I also heard a rumor that John Carpenter was involved. So I don't know how real is that, but it was supposed to be after when the rescue team gets there. What happens? Mm-hmm. They could do that. That's okay. I'm just tired of another reboot. They don't need another reboot. I was like, I'm tired. That should be a segment. Reboots and remakes. Do we need them?
No, let's get some original ideas, people. Let's sit around a table. Let's see what we got.
And then we did. And they're called The Black Phone, Smile, and they're all about mental health and depression. Yeah. Because
hey, Umbrella. Yeah,
that's
you're
the
right.
new stuff we got now. Mm-hmm. Cobwebs and No One Will Save You. They're all sad and depressing horror films.
I gotta check those out because I know those are on Hulu.
Yeah.
And they keep getting suggested to me, so I might as well just do it. I'm gonna write those down too. But at the bottom of the list, first is Deadly Spawn.
Oh. Chef's Kiss.
And then The Thing. Ivotres? This was so great. Did I say it wrong?
Yep.
You said everyone gets it wrong. No, I won't. But I hadn't said it in about an hour.
Oh.
Say it one more time.
Ivotres.
Ivotres. The coolest name. Do you want to share how your name came to be? Because that's a really cool story.
Both my parents put it together. Pretty much their whole name. Even my middle name is both my parents. So my mom's name was Teresa. So you could kind of hear.
Therese.
And my dad's name was Ivory. So Ivotres, and his middle name was Lee, Ivory Lee. And
Middle name's sweet.
Littles, and my mom was Teresa Ann Littles. So Ivotres, Lee Ann Littles. That is me. The only one in the world.
Only what? Yeah, I would think the only Ivotres ever. Look how special you are.
Yep. I can't commit a crime or nothing.
No, they're gonna know.
They would know it's me.
Hey, Alex, thanks for popping into the end of the stream with Umbrin. Oh, Umbrin, you're gonna need to go back and watch this over again if you missed it, because we are just wrapping up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and use command horror, and it'll take you straight to all of Ivotres' links. You got it. Because you have been doing some great content. You're talking to these amazing people in the horror scene. And I can see why, because you're so easy to talk to, and instantly you'd like just want me to let all my guards down. You make it easy, and I want to tell you all my deepest, darkest secrets.
They're safe with me. Believe me, I've heard all kinds of stuff from
I'm sure
from people on my show, but in private too. So.
Well, thank you for being the perfect guest for this night before All Hallows Eve episode of a Geek Out Sesh.
Thank you for having me.
And then check us out next week. We got a brand new geek guest on a Geek Out Sesh. And then Wednesday, T goes live with T Paints, or he's been playing some games, but he's got some new Power Ranger minis he's painting, so you can hang out with him live here on Twitch. And then Thursdays, our ongoing TTRPG campaign of Cloudscape. We are gaining the end of an arc. We've actually had to take a little break to make sure we finish recording them so that we're not having more than one break. So sorry that we've been a little absent there for those episodes, but they're coming, and you're going to want to stick around for that ending. But until next time, I am Boser.
I'm Ivotres.
And you just keep geeking out.
out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.